folks, welcome back to 59 Mile Arc. We are doing leg 17 of our 50 state series today, which brings us to Kansas. And we are going to fly out of Lawrence Municipal Airport in Lawrence, Kansas. And we're going to fly a short 62 nautical miles to 69 kilo, which is Wamego Municipal Airport in Wamego, Kansas. I chose Lawrence because if you remember the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, when the main character was going to go to Sarah Lawrence University, I thought that meant Lawrence, Kansas. But it wasn't until many years later that I realized it was New York. Sarah Lawrence in New York. So when I did the Kansas flight, I'm like, hey, there's a spot to go, Lawrence, Kansas. So that's why I decided Lawrence, Kansas. And then I just picked an airport kind of close by, but not too close, because we've been doing some really short flights lately. I wanted to do something that took more than 10 minutes. So that's how I picked Wamego. I did not do any research about these two cities or anything. I apologize if you're from there and there's some super cool little fun fact I could have looked up, but I did not, so I apologize. And I'm just excited for another Midwestern flight. I really love the Midwestern farm textures in the sim. I don't know why. I might even like the flat Midwest more than mountains. I better be careful when I say that, but anyway. We are in the Aero 3, not the Turbo, just the regular Aero, and there's no instrument approach or anything for our destination, so we're just going to put our destination on the GPS, fly there. If we can see a runway, we can land on it. Otherwise, we'll fly over center of airfield and circle to land, like you would in real life if you don't know the area. That's pretty much what you would do, is fly over and then pick the active runway from there, unless you have somebody with you that knows what's going on. I was going to say one more thing, I can't remember, and it's going to bug me, but can't go back in time, so we'll just move forward. Anyway, we're using real world weather, of course. I do remember what I was going to say. The sky, the sun. I got to do some research because Northern Hemisphere right now, and in Kansas, I know Minnesota doesn't get dark till 10 p.m. Sunset's like 9:27. Doesn't get dark till 10. Kansas is a little south of me, so, oh look at that, the Pappy are lined up. Lined up for my height. That was really funny. Anyway, Kansas might not get dark right now until like 9 maybe. However, in the simulator, it's getting pitch black at 5 p.m. So right now it's like 3:30 and the sun is starting to set. So we're going to have an evening flight based on the simulator. But it's not going to be an evening flight in real life. So I need to hop on the forums and ask people, do I have a checkbox I got to check? Is that just the way the simulator is? Because it seems like the hemispheres are backwards. A couple weeks ago, we talked about that in Sweden, too. It doesn't get dark in Sweden until well after 10 o'clock right now, p.m. But it's dark all the time in the sim right now, which would be in winter, but not summer. So I don't know what's going on. Otherwise, those are the two things I want to say. The time, which is going to be evening flight in the afternoon, and real world weather. No clouds, but we do have a little bit of wind. So that makes it fun, too. I'm going to try to do my flying and move my keyboard around. Let's see if I can do this. Let's go in like this, and I didn't mean to go that fast, but there you go. I'm trying to work on that for you. Just a little more animation in the video. So otherwise, there is our Just Flight Piper Aero 3. Oh, the lights just turned on. See, it's going to be a dark flight by the time we get there, which is fine. Anyway, we fly this aircraft a lot. It's super fun, and I'm getting better at it. My first several flights in this, landings are perfect every time. The last couple flights in this, can't land this thing worth crap. So I don't know what's changed. I still haven't got my rudder pedals yet. I'm still using rudder in the yoke, which is part of the problem, I think. But anyway, moving ahead, moving forward, what do we need to do? First of all, we got to hop inside. And we have to load up our passengers. So let's see, weight and fuel. Let's see, let's just do half for each. And you know what? It's date night. No children with us, so we'll put in ourselves and a friend, a special friend. Let's just do that tonight. There we go. All right, what is next? Parking brake set. If I remember where in the world that is. Yes, it is. It's down between the rudders. Controls to idle. Let me move these slowly, or else my yoke goes crazy, which I've not been having yoke problems lately, if you've noticed. I did recalibrate the windows quite some time ago, and I think that solved the problem. I also keep my yokes in my view now, so if they do go crazy, I can see them. Alright, let's see, battery to on. Let's hide this for right now. That's the left one, I believe. There we go. Check the fuel gauges. Hide this one. We have plenty of fuel. We're halfway. We just did that together. Make sure these lights appear on, which means things are actually responding. Let's turn the battery off. Trim to neutral. I think that's down here. Yes, and I don't think grabbing the wheel does much good. I think I have to use the trim wheel on my yoke to make any bit of forward progress with this thing. There we go. Alright, hop up here. Let's recharge the battery if we need to. This is our first flight since starting the sim, so I do not think we need to recharge the battery. Is it this one? No, it's this one. And spark plug fouling is fine. Battery is 12. That's what we're looking for. As you fly, though, from flight to flight without restarting the sim, that does deteriorate. Alright, auto switch on the fuel. Yes, that's because the fuel is in the tanks. And if you have to switch the fuel tank every 15, 18, or 20 minutes, depends who you talk to. If you don't, you're going to have a heavy wing on one side. But the simulator will take care of that for you. So, auto switch. Just because you only do so much in the simulator. Alright, we're going to close some doors. Let's hop outside. I really wish my preset would go here and stay here. Alright, baggage door we close from here. And I'm also going to close the interior door from in here because the whole up-down thing is kind of funky and it wastes time. So there we go, there's that, and then we'll actually latch it as well. Alright, the chocks, do the chocks go away on their own? Yes, they did. I can't remember what it is that disables the chocks on its own, but chocks went away on their own. And close the main door latch. Yes, fuel tank to left tank. I have a fuel preset. There we go. That's a spinny wheel. Yes, it is. Props forward. Let's see, where's my preset for prop? Whoa, geez Louise. Okay, props forward. Throttle quarter. And alt air closed. And it is. Confirm the avionics are off. And I think they've been... No, they are off now, finally. Okay. There's one point when they were starting on all the time. This airplane could be updating too. Has the auto up. I think this has the auto updater thing. Most aircraft now have that auto updater config file, so you get updates without knowing it sometimes. Let's see, avionics off. Yes, battery can come on now. That's right down here. Nav and rotational beacon, those can come on now. Fuel pump on. There we go. Mixture rich. There it is. You can barely see it, but there it is. Confirm fuel flow, yep. Yell clear prop out the window. I have a preset for that, I can't remember what it is. Clear prop. Close the window. Start the engine key. I think it's a spin and let go. Yes, it is. Some of them you hold, some of them you spin, some of them, just different everything. So let's turn that back in. Yes, we'll sync our gyros. I don't know if you need to in this one. Yes, we did, because our compass HSI, which is not an HSI, our compass thing spun around. Confirm oil pressure and temp. Whoa, temper rising. Yeah, we can sit there all day. Pressure's fine. Temp is low, but it'll come up. Alt switch. Can I get that from here? I cannot. I should know better than that. I say that every time I fly this plane. Do those three lights go out up here? And that one. They certainly did. Throttle's down to 1400, and they're below that, so let's bring it up a little bit. I'll keep it from stalling. Gyro section between 4 and 5, and it is. That's in the top left of the 6-pack, by the way. Lean the mixture so you avoid spark plug fouling. I better turn my sim volume up because I can't hear what's going on. Okay, there we go. I'm not using headphones, so I don't want any audio bleed. That's why my sim volume is down, but I do need to be able to hear a few things because we can't feel it, so we need to be able to hear it. All right, turn on all of our radios. Turn on this one. I thought, whatever. No, this one was on. See, sometimes they start on. I can't really see where that switch is. Whatever. Okay, there it is. This one turns on, and this one we're not using it, but we'll turn it on. That one, volume is up. Okay. Now we can turn on the GPS. There we go. Inside this yoke is in my way. Get rid of view. All right. Confirm fuel tank operation. We have had issues with this, where when you switch, it stalls. Let's see what happens. See? Now it came back. There we go. Good. Awesome. Makes me nervous every time. Alright, gyros, we already did the gyros. Altimeter barometer, we are doing real world weather, so we do need to play with this. Let's zoom down. Oh, we have low river. Alright, what do we have here? Clear, wind 210 at 5, so we're going to take off runway 19. That's why I put us kind of by 19, because it's not a model airport. Otherwise, 29er8, 29er82. So let's hop in here and zoom up even closer, closer, closer. 29er82, I think I said. There's 29er82 right there. Alright, then so next we'll come down here and do a flight plan, which again, there isn't really a flight plan. It's just going to be putting in our destination in the GPS. And then, come on menu, where are you? There you go. Destination in the GPS, and then either sugar to land if we have to, or fly straight in if we see something. Alright, so let's see. We're at Lawrence. We're going to go to 69K. And I'm distracted because my cats are running around upstairs. I thought someone was in the house. There shouldn't be anybody in the house right now. I should be all alone, which is the perfect time to fly a simulator. In fact, by the time you watch this video, when I have it scheduled to upload, I'm actually home alone for a week because my wife and grandma took the kids to Canada for some 90-year-old birthday party and some other fun things. But because my work situation changed, meaning I lost an employee, I am unable to take time off because I'm a one-person department. So I'm all alone for a week. Now, that's when you watch this. As I record this, that's in the future. So you'll be hearing me talk about that again as the actual time happens. Just behind the scenes stuff that probably doesn't matter. Anyway, 69 kilo, that's Wamego. We're going to go direct to it. And 49.8, that's quite shorter than the 62 drive nautical mile. I know you don't drive nautical miles. We've been over this before. I take the driving distance on a map, convert it to nautical miles, then we put in the GPSs as the crow flies. That's why it's always less. So, which is good. I'd rather have the flight distance be less than more. A mistake. I've made that mistake a few times, but not by a couple hundred miles. The other way adds a lot to my time. Okay, so what do we have going on here after that? We have no ADF, no VORs, nothing of that sort. We're just going to follow the purple line. We'll probably use a little bit of autopilot just so I can do some sightseeing. It's very difficult to sightsee without autopilot. Of course, I'm checking something here. Okay. All right, that is it for that stuff. We're going to have a short taxi. We're just going right there to runway 19 so we take off kind of into the wind. Looks like the winds are strong enough that our flag is actually, or our windsock is actually moving. Otherwise, thank you for letting us have breakfast with y'all. And we're going to take off now. It's sunset already, even though we just got started because of the weird simulator not knowing what season it is. So anyway, let's take off the parking brake. Let's just let this thing roll out. First set of flaps as we taxi. And we're going to pull out right into the runway. Shortest taxi ever, but you know what? It gets the job done. So let's bring throttles back a little bit because we're rolling a little faster than I want to be. And ooh, those flashing lights are bright. Alright, here we go. Let's pull on out like so. You can do it. What's your problem? Come on. How much throttle do you need? Let's go. There we go. There's runway 19. As we said, we're a little bit to the right. That's fine. We'll deal. Set the parking brake. Here we go. We're not going to do a run-up today. We're going to go right to takeoff. So make sure the battery and alt switches are on, and they are. Make sure the fuel pump is on, and it is. Make sure alt is set to close, and it is. You can't see it, but it's right here. Props and mixture forward. Props are forward. Mixture forward. Flaps 10 degrees. We already did that. MIGs on both. They already are. Can't really see it, but there they are. Landing lights on. Come over here. Like that. Trim in the middle. We already know what it is. Confirm the door's locked. We already did. Pitot heat is on. I'm doing this over here because I don't want to have to keep moving back and forth to this view. Put that back in. Set the heading bug. Oh, don't stall on me. It does that sometimes. Set the heading bug in case I bump autopilot and we end up push. There we go. That will take care of, in case we screw up autopilot, we go runway heading. Autopilot, we're not going to set autopilot now. There's nothing to set. It's just a matter of clicking the Piper arrow, Piper logo. You know, I'm going to reset this view right now. I have it set so it has a cool angle, but I need to use this view for my Piper logo. And the reason for that is to set altitude. There's your secret altitude button. I really don't like my IFR like we're crouching down though, but it'll get the job done for autopilot. I don't think I have an autopilot view set up. I can always pop it out here too, like this, but I like to do things in the cockpit. I don't like pop-outs. I've never been a fan of pop-outs. Probably because I've been flying Flight Simulator so long that everything used to be 2D cockpit, 2D panel, 2D pop-out. And now that there's all this 3D stuff, I do not like pop-outs. I'd rather come way down here and crouch down to see my autopilot. Actually, that's not even all autopilot. There's more autopilot. Let's see. Let me make my view go like this because we need that nav coupler down here. Let's see if that's good enough. Preset that view. There we go. More behind the scenes stuff. I might play with that in flight a little bit. I just want to be able to come down there and hit autopilot because I don't think I have autopilot preset, do I? Let me check my preset list. No, I'm using all 20 presets and I've run out. Yeah. Okay, I just created a preset for it. I didn't have a duplicate preset, but I had a preset that I didn't need. So I changed my presets. Now we're happy. That is going to be our autopilot preset instead of the pop-up panel. There's my IFR, so I can see my altimeter, barometer without zooming in, and that's what we're going to do. So there we go. Moving along before the sun goes over that horizon. Where are we? I have to back up on my list here. Where were we? Flaps, autopilot. Yeah, so autopilot, my whole point of that, 5 minutes later, is we'll use it a little bit so I can do sightseeing. I just want to have a preset for it, but we don't. Oh, hang on. Where's that? I want to get my clock. I can't quite see my clock. There it is. Mode. Start the clock. There we go. And that is it. Take off, lift off at 65, gear up, flaps 300 above 90 speed. Basically, we're going to rotate at 65 and try to climb at 90. That's what that says. All right, parking brake off. And throttles forward on the rudders. And I took my hand off my rudder, and that's what happens. I really need those rudder pedals as soon as I can. There's 65. We're going to rotate. We're going to try to rotate. There we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Flaps come up 300 above ground level. There's 200 above ground level. And there's almost 300 above ground level now. There we go. Climb at 90 knots. So we need to come down a little bit so we can climb at 90 knots. And then we're just simply going to follow the purple line. Let's have a quick view outside though before we turn away. Do the best I can here. That's a nice preset or a nice screenshot. Let's take that. Bye Lawrence, Kansas. I imagine there's this is a good sized town. Where's the town? Maybe it's over here. There it is. Maybe. I'm gonna look at a map when I'm done. Why does this seem so desolate? Anyway, we're turning way more than we need to. I'm just having a hard time turning and flying at the same time. Alright, let's level off here. And we will couple that GPS in a moment so that we can do some more sightseeing here. Alright, so our trim is set pretty well because we're climbing about 85 knots, which is fine. We really want 90, but we'll just keep it here for right now. Let's do a few looks around. And then we'll engage autopilot, at least with heading. We're not heading for GPS. But the winds are calm enough right now that I am almost hands-free. So there's a river there. I wonder if that's like the Lawrence River or something. I'm not sure, but that is really nice. Alright, so let's see. What do we need to do for cruise? We're not quite at cruise, I guess. We're still climbing. Let me look at my climb checklist here. Fuel pump and landing lights will come off in a moment. But not quite yet. Yeah, this is kind of a nice change to have the evening flight, even though, again, it's not really evening. Alright, so let's see. Let's hop inside here and get this autopilot going, if I can remember how to do this. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is come down here and do GPS. And we'll come down to autopilot. And it needs to be, I think, on nav here, if I remember. And autopilot. And that should bring us to the GPS. I've done this so many times before, and I have to like remember every time. So either I did a really good job getting this lined up ahead of time, so the autopilot doesn't have to do anything, Or the autopilot's not working. Oh, I changed a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's right. We have GPS there. And it's on nav here. I don't think we do nav 1, do we? I don't think we need to do that. No, because yeah, I made it back to VLOC. Yep, so we don't want to do that. I bet if I go GPS... Come on, I bet it's going to switch that back to none or 0. So there's GPS. Yep, brought it back to off. Okay, so nav on there. Do we need to do heading? Okay, so let's see if this is going to move us over. Ah, okay, so just a quick review. GPS there, heading there. And I'm pretty sure you have to do nav here. I'm pretty sure you do, because if I go heading, it's going to do heading bug, right? Let's do a little experiment. Heading bug is way to the left. So if I do heading, I believe it's going to turn us... Yes, it is. Okay, so we need it on nav. Okay, so let's recap. VLOC GPS on the GPS, that's the same in every aircraft. Heading does have to be on, but he switched the coupler to nav, and then this thing automatically goes to off. Boom, and we are now going to follow the GPS route, and now we just want to hold our altitude. I wanted to stop at 5 grand, we're already at 5,500. Let's stop, let's just stop right now. So let's hit the little Piper logo. That'll hold us at our current altitude, and now we are in cruise. Just like that. Alright, so now it's time to set up for cruise. I'm just keeping an eye on things here. So for cruise, let's see, 23 on the manifold, 22 on the RPM. So let's come down here. 20, what did I say? 23 on the manifold, and we're at 24. So we'll come back a little bit. There's 23 and a half, 23, and then 22. Let's bring this back. That'll also bring the manifold pressure back. And then if we, oh no, it came back. There we go. 23, well, okay, 23 and a half, and 22. Close enough. Altitude is set, like it's a little higher than I planned, but whatever. You don't have like a preset altitude selection. And the real life autopilot for this doesn't even have an altitude hold. That's just a little feature of the developers that Just Flight put in there. So anyway, what else? Fuel pump off, landing lights off. Fuel pump is that one, landing lights are that one. What else do we need to do? I think that is it for cruise. So we're just going to look around for a little bit. We have quite a ways to go. We've got 41 miles or so, so we should have some plenty sightseeing time. Let's zoom out a little bit. Where's our destination? There it is. Again, I don't know the area, so we're just going to fly over the airport and land, or fly over the airport, circle and land. Well, everything else is set. Simple, simple. Let's do some sightseeing, and I'll catch you in a little bit. The scenery is just so beautiful. I want to include all of it in my editing, but I want to make a very long video. So we are going to move along. We are still 26 miles out, almost 27 miles out, 12 minutes ago, but I want to see if we can get our destination information. So let's see here. There it is, 69 kilo. This is interesting, the way this train is mapped. Huh, interesting. Along the river, I guess it's like a river valley. It literally is a river valley. Okay, so there's enough elevation change that the colors change. Cool. Anyway, something to note there. Alright, 69 kilo with a big breath. Here we go. Wind calm. So we can use any runway we want. So we will just pick one after we fly over the airfield. It looks like based on this, we're going to go mid-center, completely perpendicular. Then we'll just do a traffic pattern. Simple enough. Wind's calm, but 298.1. 298.1. So let's hop here. 29er, that still isn't close enough. 29er. 8 1. Just move it back one click. We're all set. There we go. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about while we're on cruise. Not really. I do keep resyncing my compass and gyros though, which is this thing here. Every couple minutes, I think it drifts every 20 minutes. That's how it's simulated. So I just keep pushing Y because I mapped Y on my keyboard. It's not mapped at all by default. I set that up. So I just push Y every couple minutes just to sync it up. It syncs up with that as well. Otherwise, there's that. We talked about the autopilot a couple times, recapped how to get that coupled. The thing that throws me off though is that you have to hit heading on. I guess this heading, this turns on autopilot. This heading turns on this whole thing, I guess. That's how I'm kind of thinking of it. Heading turns on this whole thing. So whatever you have selected here, that needs to be turned on to use anything here. And then that turned itself off when we did VLOC or CDI to GPS. So that's how I'm going to think of it. Hopefully I remember that for the next time. As I said in a recent video, I really need to do a series where I do like every plane 5 times in a row just to learn it, because switching plane to plane does kind of get difficult a little bit. Oh, so let's see here. Preparing. What was our elevation? I think it was like 800 something feet, 965. So let's say 1,000 feet. So we want to approach at about 1800, I think. So if we're at 5,500 now, more or less, we want to get down to 1,500. That means we have to come down 4,000 feet. And we have how long to do it? 10 minutes. So at about 8 minutes, we'll come down 500 feet per minute or so. Start coming down, which will be pretty soon. So I guess we're pretty much at top of descent. So let's turn our landing lights on now. A little early for fuel pump, I think. Let me do my descent. Barometer we did, props forward, not quite yet. Throttle back to 15 to descend. Do that in a minute. Fuel pump on 1,000 feet above ground level, so 2,000 feet. I'm going to totally forget. Approach 110 knots. And 100. Final approach 85. Touchdown at 75 at idle. I've been really bad about touching down at idle because of that 1900D I fly so much. And the issues related with that I'm not doing anything at idle. I gotta just start doing everything at idle. Anyway, let's start coming down now. 500 feet per minute or so. So let's uncheck that. I heard a little click, a little beep sound, and we'll throttles down to 15 and descend, it says. So that'll actually descend, props forward, it said. It being my checklist. And that's 15. Wow, right on the money, just about. Nice. Yeah, props forward, throttles back to 15 to descend. Flaps at 100, so we got a long ways to go before flaps. We're coming down. Well, let's see. We'll use the throttles to adjust our descent rate. So, or I can just trim down if we really want to be at 15, like it says on the checklist. Either way, we're going to gain some speed. So there we go. That was top of descent. We are now descending. We already have our barometer or altimeter set. We already have our airport elevation. We have our runways. We have the weather. Landing lights are on. Next thing will be fuel pump, and then flaps as we come down. Touchdown to 75. I will repeat that several times as we get closer, of course. Otherwise, a few more seconds or maybe a minute of sightseeing. And I'll catch you then when it's time to approach the airport. Alright, so still coming down. And bring the manifold down to 15 and props forward. Got us about 600 feet per minute down, so that's awesome. One thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get the runway headings. I decided we're going to do a right traffic, which means we're going to land on runway 17. So what I want to do, even though I don't know the exact magnetic direction, I'm going to bring my heading bug to about 17. That way we have an idea of the direction of the airport, of the runway. That way we know where we are, since we don't know the area. Otherwise we still have autopilot coupled to GPS, even though the altitude is not turned on. So all we have to do is just keep an eye on our altitude, which is at 3,300. What I say, airport's about 1,000 feet. We want to cross over about 1,800, give or take. Probably more like 1,500. Oh, I think I see the beacon up there, and I do, right off the nose, dead center. So we're just going to keep coming down, and in a few minutes here, we will land this airplane. Alright, so there we are at 1,500, exactly where we wanted to be. So we're just going to level off here and slow down. So now I'm doing a combination of trim and bringing throttles back to keep us level. And slow down, it's just, it takes, you know, it's like driving a big boat. You bump the throttle a little bit, it makes a big difference, and then it floats the other way. So let's kill autopilot, actually, because that's more work now to have autopilot going. So we're at 110, that's the approach I have listed here is 110, so we'll keep it on 110. Landing lights are on, fuel pump is on, gear needs to come down. I guess we'll do that. Let's do gear now. We can do that at this speed, I believe. I'm pretty sure we can. We're going to fly right over the airport, then we'll slow down to 100 and make our right base, or our right traffic pattern, sorry. Let's have a quick look around while I pull back on my yoke to keep us from going into the ground. Looking very nice. Very cool. Very happy with this so far. Love the nighttime, or the sunset, even though it's an afternoon sunset. Alright, doesn't look like we have a model airport, which is okay. That'll be plenty fine. Okay, we're slowing down a little bit below 100 now because of the drag of the gear, so let's keep that up. We don't want to slow down yet. We will get flaps down once we turn on to downwind, I think. And then the second set of flaps, I think I said, was 85. And then 75 touchdown at idle. Alright, so there's 100. Let me trim that out because I'm really pulling back on my yoke quite a bit. So we know the direction of the runway because of our heading bug. So let's make our downwind leg. And once we level off, we'll do our first set of flaps. Let's not descend quite yet. We're down to 1,300. Airport's at 1,000, so we're only 3,000 feet, a little more than 3,000 feet. Now we're 4,400 feet above the airport, which is pretty low. So let's make this, okay, there we go. Our heading bug is right below us, so we know we're parallel to the runway now. And it's behind us, so we can't really quite see it. That's fine. First set of flaps, gears are already down, props are already forward, fuel pump is on. That's in case we have to gun it. So we would also at this time do our fuel tank to the fullest tank in case we have to gun it. We need the fuel. Until I go around, but I'm not quite worried about that. It should be evened out anyway because of the auto switch. Alright, what are we at? We're almost 400 above the runway, so let's come down a little bit and make our turn for base at 85. We'll do a second set of flaps. I think that was 85 for second set. I can't see my checklist too far away and my hands are kind of busy right now, so anyway, we probably need a little more aggressive turn. Onto base, and we'll know when we're on base because our heading bug will be 90 degrees to the right. Okay, let's do second set of flaps. And we're at, what is that, 80. Okay, so now we should be on base. Now we look over for the runway, and we're a little low, so it might be kind of hard to see it. Oh, there it is. Turning on to final now. Quickly, third set of flaps. This is our touchdown speed, but I'm slowing us down because we got an S-curve back. So we're going to go a little slower than we should be just to make up for our mistake. Again, without peripheral vision, some of this is difficult. I've heard pilots say Flight Simulator is actually more difficult than flying a real plane. But then I've heard flight simulator people say that can't be true, but they haven't flown a real plane. So I don't know. I have to take the word of the real pilots who've tried both. All right, so here we go. All right, touchdown is 75, so we're a little slow for that. And we want to be at idle on this. I really got to work on that. Like I said, I've been having a hard time remembering to go to idle because of other aircraft and their issues. But we're going to worry about this aircraft today. So we're just going to come down. Wow, this is no runway. All right, here we go. I want to go sterile, I think, because I actually want to have a good landing here. And there's a little bit of a crosswind from the right, just a little bit, which is fine. I'm not going sterile on my. In fact, I'm going too slowly. I'm doing a whole bunch of things wrong. We're just going to make it look okay. So here we go. We're at idle. We might stall. Let's level off. Ooh, there we go. Not great, but not terrible either. Man, that's a narrow runway. I feel like we're in a big pickup truck or something. There we go. Use those brakes. Oh, could have been better, but it also could have been worse too. So, all right, let's see. Let's get off of here. Flaps already came up. And we'll just do the midpoint turn off. Even that seems narrow. Wow. I'm so used to these bigger airports that... What? This is not a big plane by any means. What is going on? Look at this. This is not a big plane. So what we should do... We don't really... Let's see, it's kind of hard to do this at the same time. We're going to... Where's my mouse? We're going to coast along. We really should turn off our landing lights right now. And our fuel pump. There we go. And we're going to park on this road. We're going to say this is our apron because there's no model lane airport here. So let's stop right. Whoa, 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 whoa. Got stuck on the grass. There we go. We're going to stop right here. And we're going to set the parking brake and let's stop that clock. 30 minutes. Boom, right on the nose. All right, so... Whew, okay. Now stop clock, land stop. Anti-collision comes off. Don't stall on us there. Engine. Anti-collision. That's this one, I think. Flaps out, fuel pump off, pitot heat off. Parking brake is set. Avionics can come off. Next. It's dangerous to turn your airplane on or off when you have avionics enabled. So there we go. Make sure cut off. There we go. Come over to the left and turn off the key. Like so. Turn off all the remaining lights, which should just be that one. Alternator can come to off. Battery can come to off. That's those two right there. Fuel tank selector to off. That's right there. And what else? Open the doors. Open that thing. Oh, open that thing. If you come up here, unlatch it, and we can try to open this ourselves. Kind of tricky. Yeah, see, it doesn't always go all the way. There we go. Oh, see, now it's going to close. There we go. Hop outside, open up the fuel door, the baggage door, and put out our chocks. And we're all set. We survived. We survived our Kansas flight. I apologize for the slightly rough landing. Whoa. Oh, geez. Okay. Maybe we're in a parallel universe and he didn't see us. Anyway, what should I say? I don't want to beat a dead horse, have the same outro every time. So I'm just going to say welcome to Kansas from Kansas, I guess. Not much going on here. I'm sure this is beautiful in real life, though. Next, unless we get subscriber requests in between, we're going to Kentucky. We're going to see some mountains in Kentucky. That's the plan. Hopefully you enjoyed this flight, and hopefully you join me for the next one. Let's watch the sunset here. If you're a regular subscriber, thank you for your continuing support. If you're new to the channel or you found me by accident, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends. And check out the 50 State series if you haven't been part of it already. Welcome to the community. GA flights every other day, every third day, whenever I feel like it. And I've been feeling like it a lot lately, so there's been a lot of flights. A lot more to come. I feel like we're just getting started, so we've got years of flight sim left. So please subscribe so you're part of that adventure with the rest of us, and I'll catch you on the next one.